Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This event will be a great opportunity for those of you who aren't familiar with BridgeYear to learn more about our work, and for those friends who know about BridgeYear already to hear a little bit about what we've been up to in this last crazy year. Before we get started, though, I want to make something super clear. We designed this event for you. Whether you're an educator who works with us in schools, a donor, a family member, a friend, a student, we were just curious to see what BridgeYear is all about. We organized this event so you can get all your questions answered. We called it a Q&A for a reason. So please ask us some questions so we can get you some answers. For those of you who are new to BridgeYear, let me give you a quick preview. Our vision is that all students should graduate high school on a clear path to success. I'm a former high school teacher, and my co-founder was a former high school counselor. Together, we realized that there was a huge gap in our education system because so many students were leaving high school unprepared for what was next. A lot of students, like those who can't afford college, or maybe they have low GPAs, or maybe they're just not interested in a four-year degree. Those students were leaving high school neglected in our push to four-year college enrollment. BridgeYear was founded to support these students and to help all youth graduate high school with a path to stable employment. We found that the greatest barrier to our goal is that students often don't know all their options. And so to address this, BridgeYear has two components. Our first program is our Career Test Drive program. This is where we give students hands-on experiences to expose them to high-growth, high-demand careers that pay well, but don't require a four-year degree. Our second program is our advising program, and this is where we give students vetted resources and tailored support so that they can plan their own path for after high school. I'm super excited that today you're going to hear about both of these programs from the really amazing, talented BridgeYear team who make it happen every day. But now that you've heard a little bit about us, we want to hear it from you. So to test out how you'll submit your questions today, I would love for everyone in the audience, wherever you're tuning in, YouTube or Facebook, to share with us your dream job when you were in high school. So what was your dream job in high school? What did you want to be? You should see a space where you can type your answer in now. And this will also be the space where you'll submit questions for our team during the show. As you enter your questions, we'll be able to field them and bring them on screen to answer live. And we'll try to do our best to answer as many questions as possible, but if we won't get to all of them, we'll definitely follow up. As you're submitting your responses to our icebreaker question today, I also want to introduce our team and the people who will be answering your questions. So to start off, my name is Victoria Chen. I am the co-founder and executive director of BridgeYear. Next, I want to welcome on Victoria Doan. She is BridgeYear's other co-founder and chief program officer. Meredith Buchheim is our program coordinator and has done an amazing job with our career kits. Tina Smith is our program operations manager and is spearheading our NKBA partnership, which you will hear about. Evelyn Melgar is our manufacturing coordinator. She's the one managing our warehouse and all those shipments. Mariah Rodriguez is a program fellow who's done a little bit of everything this year, and you'll see that. Alicia Vasquez is our advising program manager working directly with students. Stephanie Garcia is another program fellow. And last but not least, we have Stephanie Garcia. Ooh, already introduced her. We have Bevan Howard. Can't mess up Bevan. Bevan is our communications coordinator. She's the one who planned this amazing evening. And she'll also be my co-host and will be fielding your questions today. We'll see all these beautiful faces later, so I'm going to take them off screen for now. And I'm actually going to turn it over to Bevan to talk about how this event is going to go.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chen. Yes, so thank you all for tuning in. I know that a lot of us are battling some pretty serious Zoom fatigue right now. So we wanted to make this event as stress-free as possible. So today we have 4 segments planned for you to give some exciting features that we have here at BridgeYear and just some updates on our program in general. So first, we're going to give you an overview of our Career Kit program with Meredith, who'll be giving us a little inside scoop into our new instructional platform. Next, we're going to give you a little demo of our Career Kit simulations, but with a twist. Today, you'll be seeing our 2 new BridgeYear board members try on our 2 brand new auto technician career simulations. This has been dubbed their official welcome into the BridgeYear family, and I can guarantee you they have never tried these activities before. Next, for our grand finale, we're going to catch up with our advising program manager, Alicia, to talk about some student stories and trends that she's witnessed in the last year. Now, after each of these segments, we're going to open it up for questions from you guys. Bear in mind, there'll probably be a little bit of a lag time between when you submit your questions and when we see them. But fret not, we're also going to have a roundtable discussion at the very end, where we'll have the opportunity to circle back on a few questions and get to the things that we didn't get during the segments. We'll also be following up after the show for any questions that didn't get answered today. So make sure you subscribe to our newsletter, follow us on social media, and stay in touch so we can get you those answers. Next, we've said this so many times, but it bears repeating. We want to hear from you. We won't be forcing you to go off mute or making you turn on your video. So I really want to see your questions coming in so we can get them answered from you and let you know all the great work that we're doing. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Meredith, who has something very exciting waiting outside her front door.
Hey Bevan, yes, I sure do. So today I'm going to introduce you to the Career Kit program and give you a peek into the student experience. So what exactly are career kits? Well, when students and schools went virtual and into hybrid models, we realized students are going to need our help more than ever. So what we've done is taken our career test drive fairs, our large in-person interactive fairs, condensed that down into a portable career test drive kit. So instead of working with students in schools and their gyms, we now come straight to their front door. Okay, well, not every student has their career kit shipped to their home. Some pick them up from school, other students complete their career kit in class with their teacher. Regardless, the most important thing about career kits is that they are completely flexible to whatever learning environment your student is in. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what's inside. Every career kit comes fully equipped with all the materials students will need to try on their career and have their hands-on experience. Currently, we offer a few different industries with our career kits. First, we have the healthcare industry. Second, we have the construction and design industry in partnership with the National Kitchen and Bath Association. And recently, we just launched Auto Technician with sponsorship from Gulf States Toyota and the Friedkin Group. So later, we'll talk a little bit more about each of these individual simulations and what we offer. But for now, we are going to dive right into medical lab technician. For this activity, students are tasked with figuring out of 4 patients who would be compatible with a donor sample of blood for their blood transfusion. They're going to do this by first figuring out, using a set of serums and patient samples, what is the blood type of that patient. So using antibody serums and actual samples, artificial samples, plasma, and red blood cells of their patient. They will then do a cross snatch to figure out if they are compatible and use stirring rod pipettes and biohazard bags to make sure they're following proper health procedures and not doing cross-contamination. All this is included so they not only can complete the task, but also feel like a real-life medical lab technician. What's super exciting though is our brand new component to our career kits, an interactive online platform that has all the instruction students need in one place. It's called Nearpod and has a combination of slides, videos, and interactions for students to use as they go through their simulation. They simply follow a link, log in with their name, and we're able to actually embed quiz questions within videos that provide demonstrations of the activity, but also give step-by-step instructions as students work through each phase of the simulation, and not only provide the process information for how to complete the task, but as well as the background information, and do fun interactions along the way, such as fill in the blanks, a drawing activity, to have fun along their way as they focus on being the best medical lab technician, for instance, they can be. Also, what's really great about this platform is that it tracks student progress, and that can be sent directly to teachers. In addition, we offer something known as a live session that students come and engage in after they finish their career kit. We take this time to talk about differences in real life for the career, what pathways students would need to pursue for the career, and what local program opportunities are available in the Houston area. Through our employee partnerships and volunteer program, many times we have industry professionals come and answer students' questions during these live sessions. We are so excited to offer these new virtual components to our program and excite youth about their future careers. Thank you so much for coming along the student experience and journey with me. Please submit your questions, if you have any, into the comment box.
All right, so I hope you all enjoyed that behind the scenes look into Meredith's apartment and how the Career Kit program works. Now I'd like to welcome Meredith and Tina, who both have been working on the Career Kit implementation this year. They will answer some of your questions about Career Kits, live sessions, and your platform. Hey.
Hi.
Hey. Let's get started with Meredith. You're a former teacher, so you have experience working with students in classrooms. What's been different about interacting with students this year?
You know, it is difficult to interact with students virtually, but yet it's been such a blessing to still get to work with students, even though we're not in the gym, have that same energy, you know, transforming schools' gyms to bring our simulations to the schools. But it's been great even on Zoom. We had a session this morning with students asking questions and the level of engagement that we're still able to get even in a virtual platform. For students who maybe don't show their face, you think, are they engaged? But then they'll unmute and say, hey, I have a question for like 2 steps ahead in the activity, because they're that invested in what they're doing. So it's been so much fun to still have engagement with students and be able to work with them as they figure out their next steps.
That's awesome. I love it. One thing our team has realized this year is that students don't like to show their camera. And so they'll often be off screen, but it seems like they're still engaged. That's wonderful. Tina, you are working closely with our employer partners. So what are you seeing with live sessions with the National Kitchen and Bath Association?
Yeah, so the ability to have volunteers come in on the live sessions, I think makes all the difference for the student experience. They want to know, right, about the career and be able to, you know, do the hands-on simulation, but it takes it to the next level when they can actually ask someone that does that job every day, what it's like, how does it work, what is the environment like, how did you get there? And I think it's also beneficial because most people get to their careers in different paths. And so they can get a sense that you don't have to follow one exact path to get where you want to be. So I think that's really beneficial for the students to hear.
Absolutely. And that's something that comes out when we have multiple volunteers on the live sessions, right? Someone will say, I did an apprenticeship, and someone says, I did a community college route. Shout out from Christina over at NKVA. Thank you, Christina. It's good to see you on. Meredith, I'm a sucker for stories. So you have been on multiple live sessions. I would love to hear kind of your favorite live sessions so far. Tell us a story about what's happened.
Yes, my favorite live session is when we had volunteers for the healthcare industry. We had a medical lab technician, a nurse on the call, as well as a health information technician. They were speaking about the opportunities for different pathways in the healthcare career industry and how, you know, sometimes employers will pay for you to go back to school and just the many different levels of certifications you can get. And we just hear our student randomly blurt out, really? And they were so excited and we're wanting to learn more. And at first we thought it was a question. We didn't know where the noise was coming from. And the student went on to say, like, I just didn't know all these opportunities were out there. Now I have a plan for after school and I didn't have one for after high school. So it's those moments that are so much fun. Or we had another student who did a construction kit, heard about healthcare on one of our follow-up conversations and said, this is wonderful. I didn't think this was an opportunity or option for me, but I really want to go back and work in mental health clinics to give back to kids who have gone through similar situations that I have. And so that was a really heartfelt moment to see a student really want to invest and see that, you know, even if you think you're going to stick to one path, it's okay to change your mind and really go with what you want to do.
That's awesome. We do have our first question from Nathan. Hey, Nathan. Post-COVID, will students have a chance to visit a workplace for a medical tech, auto tech, home builder, kind of get even more in-depth experience into a career? Tina, do you want to talk about that and how we've seen our program evolve?
Yeah, so once students do our kit and they're able to connect with real folks, real professionals in the sector, they have an opportunity to get their contact information. Most volunteers are so willing to give out their Instagram or email so that students can stay connected and follow up. So that's one opportunity. And then also we really encourage our school partners for BridgeYear just to be a starting point of the conversation. So this is the hands-on opportunity, but we don't want the conversation to end. So we encourage them to continue to have conversations about the careers that we are talking about, so that they can potentially pursue them.
Right. Thank you. Meredith, I'm going to throw this question to you. How have you been able to keep students engaged?
I think what's lend really well to our program is that we've always done hands-on simulations, and being able to offer that to students when, and same for us, our lives are our computers as at the moment, letting them try something hands-on. And we made sure too that the activities are scaffolded, and so they're building on skills, starting with basic ones and working more and more in depth into the career experience, the responsibilities, the day-to-day. So I think that's really caused students to have that engagement, switching up their normal daily routine and creating actually real life simulations that mirror real life. I think students have really appreciated that authenticity in wanting to explore the careers.
And Tina, do you want to build on that with the videos and then also answer this question on the screen?
Yeah, I got so distracted and excited about this the question on this screen. And so with middle schoolers, right before COVID happened, we extended our FAIR program to middle school. So we were just getting our feet wet. It was going really well. So when COVID happened and we had to change to KIT, we focused on high school students because that's what our original concept was. But after a few months, we were able to adapt our kits for middle schoolers. And it's the same careers, but we wanted to make sure that the middle schoolers were able to keep up with the content and that it was in a way that was age appropriate. So their videos and their instructions are just a little bit different. But they still get that opportunity as they think about what endorsements they're going to choose once they get to high school, or what, as they choose high school selection.
Great. So we have a next question about adaptation for newcomer students. So Latino Hispanic students, usually newcomer students might speak English as a second language. When Houston has a lot of students like that. So Meredith, how are some ways that we have adapted to make sure our program is available?
Yes, so we, as I mentioned earlier, that scaffolding when it comes to the actual activity itself and the way we deliver instruction. So with Nearpod, it is a combination of demo videos where we're walking students through at a high level the activity, giving that background knowledge, a combination of pop-up quizzes, videos, drawing, and then breaking everything down step by step with the instructions, but visuals as well. So I think that combination of various media platforms, plus with our videos, since we are working with youth, we've tried to make them TikTok, YouTube inspired, because that's where students like to spend their time. So I think adding that humor in, as well as breaking it down and giving students various ways to learn, because we all learn different. Students.
That's great. And actually, we are working with ELL students at Wisdom High School in just a couple of weeks. And so that we're really excited about their initiative in bringing us out to their program. But that's all the time we have for now. You will see both Meredith and Tina later in the roundtable discussion. So keep those questions coming if we haven't gotten to them yet. Now we're going to get to take an even closer look at the career kit simulations. So like Bevan mentioned earlier, we had a little bit of board member initiation with our two newest board members, Kate Fowler and Veronica Frederick. They were great sports about this. We had them try their hand at our two brand new auto technician simulations that we launched this year in partnership with the Freakin Group and Gulf States Toyota. So Bevan, let's kick it off first with Kate. She will be trying the electrical circuit activity.
Did you get the LED next to it as well?
I sure did.
Kate's one of our newest board members. What she is doing is our auto technician electrical circuits career kit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, circuits. That's going to go into the bread. I keep calling it a bread box. A bread. What is it?
Breadboard.
Breadboard. Bread.
You said this was easy. It's about to get like harder by times 10, so get ready.
You know, we're gonna see if it gets any harder because I'm pretty much a technical whiz. So we'll see.
She's setting it up in a way that it's actually incorrect, so that way she can learn how to troubleshoot it. So just so you know, when you plug it in,
This won't work.
maybe the connections aren't tight, so current's not flowing. That could be a possibility. There could be an open circuit somewhere. Maybe the buzzer's broken. There are a lot of possibilities. That's why we're going to use Toyota's 6-step troubleshooting plan. Let me show you what it's supposed to do. As I get closer, it starts to beep.
Ooh, okay.
Does yours do the same thing?
It does not.
So the customer is not saying crazy things here?
No, she's right. It's dangerous to like now drive a car without the beep because now it's in your brain like, oh, it'll beep at me when we're gonna hit some. You can hit things easily.
Every car has an EWD to show you how things are supposed to be connected.
Okay.
This is our student-friendly version of that. What you need to do next is look at this EWD. Easy. Kind of in your mind, map out how it's supposed to work. And then circle a general area where you're thinking, you know what? I think that's the area that I need to take a closer look.
Okay, cool. So, yeah. Okay, the common, I don't know. I have no idea. I give up. The answer is C. Okay, I would think that the ultrasonic sensor, since it's not working, we need to focus on that, right? So I think it's this general area.
You can now start to eliminate places that you don't need to investigate further.
So it's the negative, right? That's the problem.
The first LED you set up is also connected to the common negative. If that LED works,
okay, then it's fine.
Yeah.
There you go. Our other LED is flashing. Is it supposed to be flashing? I don't know. No, it should not, because it needs to just be flashing when something is hanging out. And it's not making any noise, but it may not be making noise because something's wrong with the sensor.
That's a good point. So we went from like this entire car could be wrong to these potential 3-zone areas. Now we need to think about what order do you want to go into to analyze?
I want to do the sensor first. I think that if the sensor works, then the buzzer will work. And then we can figure out the light bulb situation later.
It's like you looked at the slides ahead of time because you said exactly the right thing.
I didn't. I'm not a cheater.
Use this wonderful repair manual.
Oh my gosh, there's solutions, thank God.
It has some context as well as how to troubleshoot guides. And we created this repair manual in conjunction with our friends at Ghostface Toyota, who helped us develop this career kit.
Thanks, Toyota. View problem zone 4 to rectify any issues related.
If you move your hand closer, it beats faster. If it's a little further away, it beats slower.
It's like, oh no, a trash can. Pedestrian. A dog. So safe. Beep, 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 beep.
So now that we know Kate is no longer driving into pedestrians, trash cans, or dogs, let's watch our next board member, Veronica. She's going to try our wheel balancing activity.
I hit the curb a lot. I hit the curb a lot. Okay, think I can do it.
Veronica, what you have in front of you is our career kit that we co-created with Ghostface Toyota. This is the wheel balance function. So first thing we're gonna do is set up our modules. This is what the wheel spins on. You're gonna put that right through the middle.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So you spin it, and you hold it in your hand like this, you should not feel any vibrations. This is an example of when a wheel has static balance and dynamic balance.
Oh, it's wobbly.
So what's happening here is there's a heavy spot. There's something that keeps forcing the wheel to drop down. What do you think we should do so that way this doesn't happen anymore?
Put equal weight on the other side.
There we go. Go ahead and try that.
We'll see if it works. Wow, smooth.
What we're doing right now is creating a simulation of what a thicker car's wheel looks like. So now we're going to impose dynamic imbalance.
It's going back and forth.
How do you think we fix this one?
The other wheel, opposite side. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Like, yeah, yes, that's what I'm thinking.
So she is going to see if her theory of opposite side equal weight is going to work.
My theory didn't work. It's a little wobbly, but oh, I put too many nuts on. I had 2 on one side and I had 3 on one side. It's not falling. I'm liking this much better.
Let's say a customer came in and they're saying like, I'm driving and I feel the road a little bit more. I noticed that I used to get 25 miles to the gallon. Now I'm getting 20. I don't know if it'll be that drastic. And the auto tech person says, yeah, it's an issue of wheel balance. So you, Veronica, our newly minted auto technician, need to fix this. We have a mystery wheel. There's a heavy spot somewhere. And we are trying to figure out where that is to adjust so that way we have a balanced wheel.
It must be very subtle. Oh, wait. Yeah, when I spin it hard, yeah. Wait. It's going down that way a little bit. Yes. So I'm going to move mine up 1.
Okay, now the ultimate test is to spin it and see if there's any vibrations or if it moves back and forth.
Go fast and see. It's looking smooth to me. I did it. I feel like I know how to do my tires the next time when I go in now. I think I am on my way to becoming an expert when I go to the tire shop the next time.
So now we'll welcome Doan on to answer your questions about career kits and our brand new auto technician simulations. Hey, Doan.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So we have been off the charts excited about our new employer partner this year, which was Gulf States Toyota and the Freakin Group. Can you tell us more about that partnership as we get those questions coming in?
Absolutely. So we met Amanda from the Freakin Group at a post-secondary conference in Houston, and the Freakin Group was interested in BridgeYear because they were looking to align their giving with their workforce development goals, especially as it related to Gulf States Toyota. And so there's a huge shortage of skilled automotive technicians across the country, and so they were looking to work with BridgeYear to get students, a hands-on experience to test drive the career. You see what I did there? And mainly to see if it's a good fit for students. And so that's kind of how we got started. It's been great working with them. We worked really closely with Gulf States Toyota to create the career kit. So while we were developing the career kit, we got to tour their facility, their training center, to kind of get a sense of what they teach their trainees, how they teach their trainees. We did a series of interviews with their staff to distill very complex ideas and to distill it into a very approachable career kit that a student who has, very limited experience in the automotive industry to do this task. We did a lot of iterative improvements. I met with Toby, our point of contact there, lots of times, and we just kept going back and forth about what this could look like, how we can improve it, how do we tweak our language, so that way the students start to learn the industry knowledge and vocabulary that they need to kind of really excel. I think one of the coolest things that we had is really a bonus, I think. Through our partnership with Gulf States Toyota, we were connected with the ASC Foundation, and they are the accrediting body of all things automotive curriculum related. And so we met with them, we showed off our career kits, and they said, this is ASC aligned. And we're like, yes, now I can say with certainty, this is industry co-developed. This meets industry guidelines and standards, and it also meets Texas's CTE education guidelines. So really excited about this partnership and how we were able to co-develop this with Toyota and the Freakin Group.
Absolutely. We do have a question that I think you touched a little bit on, but would love to kind of elaborate on that. So how do we choose our industry areas? So why auto tech, healthcare, construction, and design? And maybe what are the similarities between our Gulf States Toyota partnership and our National Kitchen and Bath Association partnership?
That's a good question. So we focus on these industries based off of high growth, high need industries in the Houston economy. And so we're looking for industries where they're looking to hire some folks if there's a shortage. There's an opportunity for individuals to gain entry into a fabulous career that gives them the economic freedom and whatever they need to support themselves and their family. That's kind of how we chose those industries. So with our partnership with Gulf States Toyota, similar to our partnership with the National Kitchen and Bath Association, both industries were experiencing a shortage in skilled labor. Both have great opportunities for anybody to get plugged into the industry, and so that's how they kind of approached us. How can we make career exploration more hands-on and immersive for individuals?
Absolutely. What about this question? So my son is in middle school and loves cars. I think he'd love the auto technician career kit. How can I, as a parent, get one? Is that something we can do at home?
Absolutely, yeah. So just AJ, we can connect with you and we can chat and follow up with you and see how we can get that situated.
Does BridgeYear have plans or see the need to expand the exposure of careers past medical, auto, technical?
Yeah, yes. There's those are not just the only industries in the Houston space, and so we are absolutely looking for different ways to connect with other industries, create career kits, anything career test drive related, to get students interested in these careers.
And our key distinguishing factors for the careers that we do look for are high growth, high demand. We know that the jobs will be there and that they do pay well and don't require a 4-year degree. Can't forget that one as well.
I forgot to mention, AJ, we are doing an automotive summer camp that's happening end of June, early July. So we'll send you that link, and anybody else who's on this session, if you're interested in connecting someone, they can apply for that summer camp.
Great. Well, coming up next, we now have Evelyn giving us a sneak peek into manufacturing. So you've seen what the kits look like when students get them, but now the question might be, what are we doing to make them? So Evelyn, how is the office looking these days?
Dramatically different compared to our pre-COVID days. When our program shifted from career test drive fairs to career test drive kits, our space converted from a traditional office to a manufacturing hub. So today, I'm going to give you a sneak peek into where the career kit magic starts. Follow me. Before we get to the behind the scenes of manufacturing, we have to say hi to our beloved team man, Marsha, short for Marshmallow. She even has her own Instagram account. Go follow it. But pretty much before COVID, Marsha would transport all of our fair materials to schools where we'd set up in large scales and provide students with very large immersive simulations. All those materials for TTD fairs were reused over and over and over again. They required pretty low maintenance, and once they were built, that was it for a while. But now, with career kits, we have all of these boxes stacked up all over our office/warehouse. We're doing a lot more repetitive manufacturing work to get all of these individual career kits to students. So once they've been packaged, we ship them off either to their schools or their individual organizations. Before COVID, if we wanted 300 students to try on electrician, well, we would have 300 students use one large scale electrician simulation at school over the course of an entire day. But now to hit that same number, we have to build 300 individual electrician career kits for each individual student to use and try on at home or in school. The good news is we're already thinking forward to next school year when more students will be in person. When that happens, we'll be building reusable classroom sets to make it more cost effective for schools and for us. Next, let's go say hi to some of our manufacturing team. Today we have with us Stephanie and Mariah. Go ahead and say hi to the viewers, you guys.
Hey.
So Stephanie's in the middle of putting this frame together by drilling in some screws, while Mariah is sanding down our final product. It's about to get loud in here, y'all. Yeah, that's Manu for you. So this is our final product. This is the electrician frame, which acts as the house frame for a student's client. And so what they're gonna do is they're eventually going to screw in their light bulb. Before they do that, they have to wire everything together. So This is just one component out of all of the other individual components that go into building one career kit. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you where all of that even is. Follow me to our office. Finally, we're in the office where all of our individual materials live. This is where we store all of the different components that go into career kits. Using this space for inventory and manufacturing has allowed us not only to build a new program, but to also reach students all over the nation, places like LA, Newark, and Los Angeles. So let's go and take a closer look at what we have in here. So this is our health information technician shelf, where we even created a BridgeYear medical codes book. Students use this to add codes to their patient's insurance claim form. All of our shelves are divided by which type of career kit. So we have electrician, 2 for that because there's so many materials. We have designer, and then you've already seen medical lab technician. Here's the bag where we have pipettes and gloves that students use. More med lab, and then our brand new auto technician, which you saw our board members try on earlier today. And then over on this corner, we have all of our middle school career kit supplies. So we're transitioning to powder test tubes, and we use all kinds of crazy things to make that blood. Something like formula, beet powder, all types of weird stuff. And this is where all of that stuff lives. Thanks so much for coming on this office tour with me. I look forward to answering all of the questions that you're submitting through chat as we speak. See you next time.
So for those of you who had seen our office before manufacturing days, you will know that it's completely different. We used to house 9 people kind of typing on laptops, and it doesn't look like that anymore. But for now, this segment, I'm going to welcome back Evelyn, as well as our 2 program fellows, Stephanie and Mariah. And they're going to answer any questions you have about career kit manufacturing and that whole process. So, Evelyn, I'm going to kick you off with this question. So how can classroom teachers support this in their classes? And I think this might be a good way to transition to our next lab iteration.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned in the video, we are looking towards making our career kits usable by more than just one student. We're in the middle of creating what we call classroom career kit labs, where a teacher could order a classroom set of career kits, and they would receive kind of like the base materials, which can be used over and over and over again. And then they can buy what's called refiller bags, which are all the materials that are used up after running through a career kit. So in that way, we'd be able to reach more students. For example, you could basically have all of period 6, for example, all day use career kits, instead of having to buy 200 kits for those students. It would just be a set of 30 plus the fillers.
Great. We have a question about bringing career kits to adults who also want to learn more about career pathways. Mariah, you've actually done some of this work with your Opportunity Youth work with Capital Idea, and they also work with adults. So why don't you go ahead and answer that one?
Yes, I feel like, I mean, as we did see from our video earlier, I think adults can gain as much in terms of just the hands-on component, because there are a lot of jobs that even I didn't learn about, and so I hopped on with BridgeYear. And so I think it's an interesting thing to see adults take on career kits. It's definitely different, but still some value there.
Absolutely. We also, Evelyn, we also work with Wesley Community College. I forgot about that one.
Yes,
not community college, community center. Go for
it. Our sessions are actually happening right now with Wesley Community Center. So these are adults that are currently working on choosing their next career pathway. So they're going to choose a pathway that will hopefully end with a certification and then a job. And so they start off their programming with career exploration, and they've used BridgeYear to do that. And so today we've worked with about 10 adult students who worked through our healthcare career kit. And they were super engaged. I mean, they were just on it. Seriously, like one of the best sessions we've had. But yeah, career kits can totally be used for those adults still looking to explore.
Absolutely. Steph, I'm going to go back to that previous question, which was about, wow, it takes a really long time. These seem really complicated. Give us some insight into what Manu looks like on the job, and a little bit about the materials that we use.
Right. So it definitely depends on what career we're manufacturing at the time. So, for instance, electrician has all of the power tools involved. We have to clear out the warehouse, take out Marsha, put up the tables. Whereas, say, like med lab, we are sitting there with like cut up pieces of boba straws because that's what we use to pour the powder into the test tubes.
Don't give away all those trade secrets.
It just depends on what career kit we're manufacturing.
Yep. Mariah, I'm going to throw this one to you. Are the test drive kits sent out during the summer or only during the school year? What are you planning, Mariah?
So at the moment, we did previously mention we are doing an auto tech camp this summer. So we're going to strive to send out a good chunk of auto tech kits that will be happening end of June, early July. And so to answer your question, we can send out career kits anytime during the school year or in the summer.
Absolutely. We're also doing some work with school districts with summer school, trying to keep that engagement high in the summer. Thank you all. You all been putting in some amazing work. You've been sweating a lot, I know, in the warehouse, but we couldn't do it without you all. We'll see you all a little bit later. For our last section, before we go into Q&A, we are going to go to Alicia. Alicia is our advising manager, and so she's going to talk about some exciting new features to our advising program and share a little bit of student success stories that she's been able to encounter this year. Alicia, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. My name is Alicia Vasquez. I am the advising program manager with BridgeYear, and today I'm excited to talk about BridgeYear advising. So 2020 has been a wild year for everyone, especially for our high school seniors who graduated last year. Thinking through all of the challenges that they faced, all of the challenges we as a community faced, but especially them as graduating and thinking of their next steps. With this being stated, it's also been a really great year to just see how much resiliency and determination has come out through this class of 2020. There have been some wonderful and meaningful wins that we've gotten to witness as well. I think about Judith. So Judith graduated last year. Over the summer, she and I were texting back and forth in regards to her next steps. We knew that she wanted to go to HCC. We also knew that she wanted to enroll in something related to healthcare. And so she and I were texting about enrollment and about financial aid. But one thing that I noticed was that we would text back and forth, and then I wouldn't hear from her. And then we would text again, and then I wouldn't hear from her. And so over the summer and through our engagement back and forth, what I came to find out was that Judith was working a lot. She was one of the main providers in her household for finances, and so her work schedule wasn't allowing her to be able to have that time to get the documentation that she needed together and accomplish those next steps for enrollment. And so something that I was able to do with her is just extend grace and compassion and encourage her to do the same for herself, letting her know that we would still be here, that school would still be here, but whatever she needed to prioritize at that moment was okay. And so she and I stayed engaged. We've been texting back and forth over the last several months. And in March of this year, she let me know that she had the capacity and she was ready to start again her enrollment journey. And so we sent screenshots back and forth. She was sending me her screenshots of her FAFSA. We were able to get that completed. We were also able to get her enrolled at HCC. So I'm excited to say that she's enrolled in her first 2 classes with a licensed vocational nursing program at HCC, which is a huge win for Judith, and I think it truly exemplifies just how her determination through all of the obstacles, through all of the barriers, her determination to stay focused on what she wanted to do next. These are just some of examples of challenges. Other examples that we've heard from students are back to being the sole financial provider in their household, especially in those early months when COVID was first hitting. And so just imagining being a high school senior, it's April of your senior year, and you're now the only employed person in your family. was a huge challenge. I think another challenge was just the health and safety concerns of students. A lot of questions students were asking were, is this in person? Is this online? What can I do that's going to be online? I want to stay safe. I want to keep my family safe. And so those were a couple of those concerns that we heard this year. With those challenges that we noticed and we were hearing, I'm really proud of our team, our BridgeYear advising team. We started meeting and having brainstorms and researching what we could do to best adapt to class of 2020's needs. And so we did that pretty consistently throughout as the year was changing and as the needs were changing. And one of the key findings that we had was that we wanted to build a database that would highlight short-term training programs in the local Houston area, and that's exactly what we did. So we put together a Airtable that is our post-secondary pathways database. It's open to everyone, but we usually share it with our students. It provides free and low-cost trainings, a listing of free and low-cost trainings in the greater Houston area, and they can go on and find some options. What we also found was that not just students were interested in it, but also high school counselors, and not just high school counselors, but also nonprofit organizations who were working with their clients. And so interest in our post-secondary pathways database has grown, and that is something that we're really excited about. We've got some big plans coming up for it and wanting to expand and deepen and widen our reach with that as well. Another thing I'm really proud of is last year we were able to launch our first post-secondary pathways conference. And that was for local high school counselors, and where we invited some training programs here in Houston to come virtually, of course, and sit on different panels and talk about what their programming was about. And so we are already planning, gearing up for Post-Secondary Pathways Conference 2021. We're really excited to make it bigger, to make it better, as well as the database, right? At the end of the day, it's about reaching people, reaching the young people that we serve, and also making sure that we're meeting them wherever they are. So I'm really excited to hear what questions that you have for me, and I'm excited to answer them.
Our advising program has gone through such amazing growth lately. We talk a lot about career kits and the career test drive program, but advising is really where students are connected to that next step. So I couldn't be more proud and more thankful of the work Alicia does. Alicia, come on to answer some questions, please.
Hello.
Hello. So you mentioned a lot. You mentioned the database, our virtual conference, working with students one-on-one. What has been the most exciting for you this year?
Yeah, well, the most exciting thing always is the students. Getting to work with young people, I think, is such a privilege, and at that space and time when they're thinking of the next steps, and there's a lot of excitement, a lot of hope. I think this year, obviously, 2020 was very different, but still, again, is just really energizing and inspiring to work with them.
Absolutely. Maybe you can answer this question. Our BridgeYear students supported post-graduation, and maybe you could talk about some of the work that you're still doing with class of 2020, right?
Yeah, of course. Yes. So we do support students, specifically high school seniors. So if they engage with a career kit, back in the day when we had our fairs, high school seniors have the option of enrolling in BridgeYear advising. And so then I am connected directly with them. Advising is mainly via text, because that's what we found that this generation enjoys, but also through video, especially this year, through video and through phone as well. And so we stay engaged with them 1 year after their high school graduation. And so I'm still working, about to offboard class of 2020 officially, but still working with them. For those students, as we mentioned, there were additional barriers this year. And so for some of those students, they've had to, like Judith, they've had to delay their enrollment, but they are working on that now, getting enrolled for summer or even fall of this year. And so wrapping up that those last bits for class of 2020.
Absolutely. This question, I think, gets to metrics. So number of students we've actually helped choose a career and then become employed in that career. Do we track that number? And talk about what we consider a success in BridgeYear.
Yeah, so we don't necessarily track that exact number because
as we mentioned, we track them, or they're a part of our program up to 1 year afterwards. And so 1 year afterwards is kind of hard to, we don't keep in touch with them necessarily. Of course, they can always reach out to us, but we're not necessarily able to track 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line. That would be really amazing. What was the other question?
Kind of metrics of success. Our goal is never to force a student to do a career, right?
Right.
So maybe talk about kind of how you talk about career exploration and trial and error with students too.
Yeah, so for us, I think success is, with advising, success is if you find a path and you're able to enroll. It sounds really basic, but again, this year and with our population that we serve, there do tend to be several barriers to that. We support students, back to what Chen said, whatever pathway they choose. Some of our students have chosen 4 years, some of them have chosen 2 years, some of them have chosen going directly into a career, and some of them have chosen apprenticeships. And so whatever it is that they want to go, wherever they want to go, we are here to support them. And so for us, success is if they can choose where they want to go, and if we can support them to showing up that first day, whether that's the first job, whether that's their first day of classes, or first day of their apprenticeship, if we can support them to get to that first day.
Absolutely. And last but not least, question about, do you also partner with Sarah Jobs? I know they're probably featured on our database.
They are 100%. Sarah does amazing work, and so they are 100% featured on our database. And we are looking forward to continuing that partnership and deepening that partnership with them.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alicia.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later. Well, this year has ushered in quite a few firsts. Perhaps most interesting for our team is the need to film video content for both our program and for this event. A team with minimal filming experience, this means that we've had several funny moments. So before I invite the team back on screen for our roundtable discussion, I want to give you all what you really came for, but didn't know. It's our blooper reel. During this time, feel free to ask any more questions for our roundtable discussion. I know we're almost at time, and we're going to try to answer as many of them rapid fire as we can after this quick blooper reel.
What did I do then? Stephanie, take that part out. As much, rephrase that one.
I said, girl, we filming.
Okay.
She's here.
Guys, go ahead and say hi and Hilda. Today we have with us Marat.
Do it again. You're good. But that was great.
Back again. We also have why am I so awkward?
Or do I just start from the beginning?
Filming with clogged ears. Filming with clogged ears. Stop.
Wow, y'all. There was lots of singing on the BridgeYear team, apparently. All right, so you see the BridgeYear 9 now. We are here to answer any questions. We'll try to do it rapid fire. We also will take any love. Hi, Albert. Good to see you. Question, so how do you see digital social platforms leading to advancing our advising program? What are some ways that we're using digital? Lisa, I'll send that one to you.
Yeah, so I think this is maybe in reference to social media. I have a BridgeYear advising program manager account where I follow all of our partners and our potential partners to find out what they are doing. A lot of times what I've noticed is that with nonprofits, they might have some amazing programming, but their website might not be up to date, or not all of us have, a web developer on our teams. And so what I found is their Instagram might be really helpful, or their Twitter. And so, yes, I take screenshots, I send those out to students. I might ask questions of our contact there at that partner as well. But definitely using social media.
All right, Tina, I'm going to direct this one to you. Can you tell us about the kits related to the construction industry? Which ones are there? There's tons of building happening in Houston and beyond. What are we doing to address that?
Yeah, so in kit worlds, we have kitchen and bath designer, electrician, and finished carpenter. I mean, those are the careers that are being supported and sponsored by the National Kitchen and Bath Association. What's really cool is that NKBA has already done the research and has the data to say these jobs are here. They need to be filled. The industry is getting older. And so I feel like with that, we can really tell students, this is an opportunity that is here and that is now, that you can graduate from high school and start in, or graduate from high school and start your apprenticeship. So that's exactly what NKBA is trying to do by partnering with BridgeYear.
Absolutely. Doan, what kind of partnerships or new expertise could you benefit from to grow this kit program?
Yeah, I think if we can get connected to more subject matter experts who can help us create these kits, so more like what we did with Toyota, more like what we did with NKBA to create more, industry kits, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely. When we can align industry partners to the kits, that means our students have a direct link to employment that we are really excited about. Are we going to bring CTD fairs back?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
We cannot wait. What is the most in-demand career kit that we anticipate coming down the pike? Ooh, Evelyn, what have you seen from manufacturing side? What's been the most in demand?
So at first it was electrician, but now it has been auto tech wheel balance, although granted that comes in, a whole, but I can see auto tech being the next one. Yeah, after electrician, then auto tech.
Yeah. Are there any specific industries that you're looking for partners in? Doan, I'll throw that one back to you because you're a builder.
I mean, I don't know if we're looking for any specifically, but I think if anybody's interested and they have a hiring need in the space and they're interested in engaging with youth in a very interactive way, happy to do so.
Absolutely. Technology has been one of the industries that we've been eyeing, right?
That's true. Yep.
And healthcare, more healthcare. All right, next question. What were the positive impacts, if any, during COVID, and did COVID bring any increased costs to the program? So in the population experienced a positive working from home. So I think this is asking more broadly for BridgeYear as an organization, if we as have what COVID has caused us to reflect on. Anybody want to take this one? It's a hard one. COVID's been tough.
I think on our end, it gave us the time to kind of reflect and think about, what is our current programming? How is it reaching students? In what ways are there gaps? So I think that's kind of where advising evolved from there, right? We started with the resources is the advisor, but now we're thinking, how can we reach students? Text us at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. when they start thinking about their next steps. I am not awake at 2 a.m. And so let's create a resource so they can research on their own time. It just gave us that time to pause and think, could we be doing things differently to better support students?
Absolutely. I think that's a great answer. I think what you've heard today is a lot of evolutions of our programming, from kits to our database, and it's all because we've had that time to reflect and really listen to our students that we want to serve better. I think that brings me to answer this last question. What type of funding or partnerships do we need? I think we are on that launch point of we've done the research, we've listened to our students, we know what we need to do coming out of COVID. And so any support we can get to launch that team further would be amazing right now. And can career kits be accessible to the general public? We are trying to work on this. Right now we work primarily through schools and organizations, but there are special events like summer camp programs like our Auto Tech one, putting in a plug one more time, that we will make available to y'all. Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed this time together. I hope you all have too. Before we end, I want to thank our wonderful team and board for pushing us forward in this really difficult year. We have remained committed to exposing and connecting underserved youth to successful post-secondary pathways, and we couldn't have done it without you. Thank you all for attending today. For those of you who've resonated with anything we've said today, please do check out our website. It's bridgeyear.org. You can learn more about our program there. You can also sign up for our newsletter. We keep them short, fun, filled with pictures, and sweet. sometimes emojis. You can also follow us on social media. And if you feel so inclined, you can also donate directly on our website to help us reach even more students in this difficult year and our transition out of it. So thank you again for joining. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.